o'er the rain. So gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And welcome back into Sullivan Arena. Seth Hellman and Chris Del Sordo. As we get closer to puck drop here, we'll give you the starting lineups for each of these two teams. The visitors are starting the third line of Ryland Dukes, Jack McDonald, and Jake Leali, with Cole Douglas and David Ciancio as the defensive pairing. And obviously no surprise here, it's Evan Plunkett in net. For the Hawks, it's Patrick DeMarinis, Chase Reynolds, Luke Leinert, Luke Mixon, Richie Colarusso, and of course Cam Carroll in net. 16-6-2 on the season, a .912 save percentage for Evan Plunkett. It's 13-7-0 on the season with a .228 goals against and a .934 save percentage. It is a packed house, not a single open seat that I see. We've got students packed behind the net of Cam Carroll. We've got people in standing room all around the arena. The vibes are high.
The vibes are high. I mean, you couldn't pick a better day. It's not like a hockey weather day today. The calendar is turned to March, and the heat is turned up inside Sullivan Arena right now, Seth. You know, not the best mental math guy. We're creeping over 1,000 fans in the building right now. A couple of young goaltenders in net, but veteran presence in the starting lineups. Both of us a little surprised to see that third line out there for St. Michael's, but it's the captain centering it, Jack McDonald. And the same thing, you get Chase Reynolds in his record-setting start on the ice for the opening puck drop.
McDonald and Reynolds facing off at the dot, and McDonald wins it back, played by Douglas, over to his D partner Ciancio, one of the leading point getters on this St. Michael's team. It's rare to say that about a defenseman. Not only was he the leading point getter for a significant portion of the season, but he was also the leading goal scorer.
Right. Finally, you got McFarland back from injury, and that made everything, gave it a little bit more normalcy. But talk about Ciancio, not on the same line, but almost a similar presence is the other defender, Case Canchis. Really, they drive the offensive motor of this team.
Puck shot in on net and glove down. Hawks will change out their forwards and look to set up a rush here. It's Luke Mix with the puck waiting behind his net.
I don't know if you caught this, Seth, but Chase Reynolds had the chance to just deliver the body 5 seconds onto the ice into Ciancio. Exactly how you want to see a 121-game captain make that initial emotional input into the contest.
And here's an opportunity off the bat. 2-on-1 shot goes over the top of the net.
Like to see McCarthy skating with McFarland right there. That's a beautiful opportunity for Coach DeJulian's Purple Knights. And you get those first lines back out on the ice, a little bit better, crisper execution. Neutral zone turnover. We talked about St. A's having to lock down that blue line play. 75 seconds into this game, already one error. Luckily, they have Carroll in net. Doesn't bite him there.
Hoffman looking to go up ice. Puck is deflected by Kelly, so no icing. Puck played around by Manning. Now Kelly looking to send it out in front. Ends up clearing it from the zone. And Martin Yeti will chase it back. Passes to his D partner in Blaney, who sends it up the ice looking for Myers. Had it go through him. St. Michael's controlling, and a weird play there as Manning went headfirst into the boards. He popped right up, and he's in the play, so he's okay. Not sure how he ended up sprawled out face first.
It was a hit from Patrick last. It was a well-timed hit, and the referees were all over it. It was very legal, and so we have a couple instances early matching the intensity of the crowd with both teams delivering the body here.
Puck dumped in by the Hawks, and we had talked about it a lot. Behind the net by Ciancio. Ciancio pulling it
We're
out.
back.
See the video's back now, so convert back to television here for you. And dumped in from the red line, played by Plunkett, and he elects to send it around and not freeze it. So St. Michael's looks to set up a rush.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see here with Evan Plunkett if the Hawks can get onto him early, because he's a type of goalie that if you let him make a couple of those big highlight reel saves, he's a young kid. He doesn't know what he's not supposed to be good at. He gets very comfortable as the game progresses. And so even though that Cordero shot there, maybe not from the highest threat area, just nice to see them get this young guy peppered a little bit early there.
Shot in from the point is in and out of the gloves. St. Michael's setting up a rush. Dumped in from inside the red line, chased back by Hoffman. Puck knocked away from him by Keegan. Now played up at the point by Schwartz. Passes over to McDonald. His shot goes wide. Picked up there by Hoffman.
I like what I'm seeing out of the Purple Knights so far, Seth. It's very organized in the neutral zone, leading to, well-shaped zone entry, at least in the first 3.5 minutes of this contest.
Plunkett jumps up and catches it. We'll get the first face-off since the opener. What are you seeing right now? It's tough to tell in the first 3.5 minutes of a game, but who do you think's having the better start?
It looks like St. Michael's is a little bit more anchored to their principles right now. We saw that third line of Myers, Manning, and Kelly come on for the Hawks and have an opportunity in a rush. They sped themselves up too much. There's 2 freshmen on that line. There's plenty of upperclassmen on the ice right now, and it's funny that the team that traveled 3 hours to come and play in this game just looks a little bit more composed and ready. But I want to see them get it out of the zone here, because a couple of fatigued Purple Knights now that haven't gotten off that face-off.
Puck skated into the offensive zone by McFarland, who rips a shot that ends up deflecting up and into the netting behind Cam Carroll. Will take another face-off, this time in the Hawks zone.
What a welcome return to the lineup that Brendan McFarland has proven for St. Michael's. Was a 20-goal scorer last year. We talked to Coach DeJulie, and he said if those injuries weren't there, it would be the exact same story this year. Not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, but it's his knowledge of his teammates, the spacing inside the offensive zone. You talk about right place, right time. Nobody epitomizes that statement better than 20 in purple and gold. And we'll get a chance to see him do it again here as we'll walk it back down. I think it's the backline pairing right now that has Hoyt on the ice. Already you see Coach Roca just try and jumble things up after the one cycle through the line. So I think he expects all 20 skaters that have dressed to play a decent role in this contest today.
Blaney is able to clear it out, but it's picked up by Douglas. Goes off the boards, ends up in the zone. Played around, sent up ice, and gets through. And that'll be an icing. Hunter Brackett was unable to secure that one.
That's a little cherry in Hunter Brackett's game, right? I don't want to say that he looks for the most, the most direct route into the zone, but he saw the opportunity where he could leak out of his defensive responsibility. And it's a pretty well evenly matched game with the puck in the neutral ice, so you like to see, it looks like St. Anselm early here trying to find the long cross-ice breakout pass to maybe spring something, as St. Michael's really has collapsed in far on the offensive zone.
There's a 2-on-1. Brackett had to check up and wait. Shot on. Blocker saved by Plunkett. Brackett will pick it up in the corner. Tried to send it in deep, and it's taken over there. Winnicki brought it up the ice, and now it's dumped in by Noman. Brackett named NE10 Player of the Year earlier this week. Lots of award winners throughout both of these lineups. Coach DeJulian getting Coach of the Year.
It feels appropriate that you have the 1 seed and the 2 seed, maybe the 2 most celebrated teams in this conference. The Hunter Brackett, there's just a different level of his play than most of the other players that you're going to see on the ice today. It's hard to get 20 goals. It's hard to get 20 assists. To do them in the same season, he just plays at that higher level offensively. And even the most, disciplined defensive situation here put forward by St. Michael's, he could get through that.
Big hit from Will Vanderveen right in front of the St. Michael's bench. We've seen him be a huge piece. He was one of their best players last week in a game where Luke Mix really was not on his game, and they relied heavily on Vanderveen and ended up creating that comeback victory to win 3-2. St. Michael's still pressuring here. Shot from above the circle. Good save there through traffic from Cam Carroll.
He had what was really difficult about that save is where there was traffic in front of him. It was at two different levels of depth. Neither of those sticks affected the puck, and so Carroll to read it and glove it. Very impressive for a sophomore goalie.
Get a good look there at the student section. It was a whiteout this week, and that's why you're seeing most of the people wearing white. That was the theme for all of the home games for St. Anselm. They hosted a few. The men's basketball team won yesterday, so they'll play tomorrow on the road. Of course, the winner of this game, or the loser for that matter, it doesn't matter. Their season's over. It's just the championship. Puck played up. Can Kelly get it out of the zone? No, it's sent in further. McFarland will chase. He's forced up against the boards by Hoffman. Puck leaks out to Bloom. Bloom spinning away, trying to find someone. Looked for a pass, had it deflected. Picked up by Elaine. Elaine thought about skating down low, was headed off there. Good play defensively. Puck still in the zone. Another big hit there. And I think Vanderveen that got just knocked over in the corner. St. Michael's still controlling, trying to get a shot on. They've had a lot of possession, but nothing really towards the net. Pass to the middle. Couldn't connect there with McFarland, and the Hawks able to clear the zone.
That's a phenomenal shift out of Stephen Armstrong. He bailed from his top blue line responsibility, went down behind the net, used that reach on the 6'5 frame, and then was able to intercept a passing lane too. It's just as important to be solid in your defensive responsibilities as a center. And the 6'5" player out of Victor, New York, really delivering the body, doing everything right on his second time on the ice.
Hawks looking to break it out of the zone. Played up and intercepted by Ciancio. He turns it over. Here's an opportunity for the Hawks. Shot on, gets blocked out in front by Douglas. Here comes St. Michael's the other way. Puck taken just inside the blue line by Reynolds, sending it up ice for Demarinis, and he turns the puck over. St. Michael's going the other way. Cross the red line now, brought in by Keegan. Keegan spins away, looking for some help, passes down low, picked up there by Toot. Toot still with it, tried to send it to the middle of the ice, couldn't, and the puck bouncing towards the blue line. It finds its way to the neutral zone. St. Michael's re-enters. Bavis rips a shot, and Carroll swallows it up. That's a difficult hit right there in an odd spot. Couple of guys pushing and shoving. Bavis laid the hit.
Yeah, I don't think Richie Colarusso had any intentions to escalate that any further than where it went because, listen, with what happened in the third period of the Assumption game, I think everyone on the St. Anselm team knows that they don't have the luxury to make mistakes. But he's showing his goalie, Cam Carroll, don't worry, I have your back too. We're not going to fall asleep at the wheel here. We'll take it to these Purple Knights just as much as they're trying to give it to us.
And we can mention what happened last week as well, given that his line and he himself is out on the ice. Garrett Alberti got a game misconduct and a 5-minute major penalty for spearing, and there was some debate as to whether or not he was even going to be in the lineup for this game. Here's a 3-on-2 opportunity, shot on, saved by Plunkett. And so when we talked to Coach Roca earlier this week, he told us that he was either, and this was a conversation had between Coach Roca and Garrett Alberti, it was either you don't play or we're going to have you pick up all the pucks by yourself and clear out the nets by yourself. And if I was a player, I'd do the same thing.
And you're going to practice every day between the semifinal and the championship, so much more than the normal workload. Right. Listen, I think hockey players, most of them are cut from the same cloth, Seth. They're all going to take that deal. I don't think I know a single hockey player on planet Earth that goes, yeah, you know what? I'll sit out the championship game. Just don't make me pick up the nets. And he did what was right. He made amends. Coach Roca put it bluntly, the way he told it to Garrett, listen, you owe us an apology. It's on you on what you want to say to the room, but I think you should apologize to them as well. And as he told us, Garrett didn't blink, didn't think twice about it. And they were, most importantly, it wasn't a mistake that derailed the season, because then you have to worry about how that's going to affect other parts of his life. It just became a hockey thing. It's a thing in the room that maybe they'll joke about a little bit because they got the win, and it gets a top-line player on the ice for a championship game.
Vanderveen with it now, trying to find a way out of the zone. Open opportunity.
Wow.
Shot just goes past the glove of Carroll, but he got enough of a piece to send it wide. And the referee says deflection, but the linesman disagrees. And we're going to get an icing here and a face-off coming back into the Hawks zone.
Man, that's the second pretty difficult save Cam Carroll has had to make in a transition rush up the ice. And that's what I've said. It's looked organized so far for St. Michael's in attacking this St. Anselm zone. Couple of different options there. It got McCarthy really right on the doorstep where that right-handed shot works the best. And luckily, the sophomore out of Putnam Valley, New York, up to the task again.
And after discussion, the referees have agreed that there was a deflection, so both teams allowed to get their changes in, and the faceoff is coming out to center ice. It's tied up but controlled now. Kelly passing it down low to his defenseman, Martin Yeti, and played up ice by his D partner, Blaney. Plunkett comes way out of the net to play it. Questionable move there with a lot of Hawks in the zone. Here comes St. Michael's. Can they get behind the defense? No. Good job on the back check by Kelly, the forward, and now the puck turned over. It finds its way back to Kelly, who takes a big hit there from Canchis.
That's the first time we've gotten to call Case Canchis' name, and you forget that he's a defenseman with how well he can move the puck and how much of an offensive threat he is for this Purple Knights team. But the senior out of Bloomfield Hills, New York, he has some size to his game too, and that's a nice cutout for number 4 to insert himself into this contest.
Last time these two teams faced each other in the championship game, the Hawks were the first team to score. So far, halfway through this first period, we've got nothing on the board. The Hawks did win both of the meetings here just a few weeks ago on the Friday and the Saturday by 2 goals in each of them, as Plunkett picks that one off the ground like a shortstop and takes the faceoff. And I think we'll monitor that for a moment.
I saw the same thing you saw there. But
looking across, looked like Justin Tremblay was grabbing the inside of his leg. He's staying out on the ice, so I think he's okay. My initial thought was that he stopped awkwardly and tweaked something.
He got a bit of a butt end from Cole Douglas there, and then what it was is as he was kind of grabbing himself to make sure he was okay, Cole Douglas was holding him up to say, hey, let's not turn this into something more than it was. I think all hockey players would appreciate how that just played out.
Mix sent it along the blue line, and Colarusso sent it in deep. Good play up against the corner boards there by McDonald. Scrum in the corner. Puck finally finds its way out to Douglas. Nice job at the boards to keep it in. Picked up by Tremblay. He skates to the middle of the ice, passes to Mix, goes across looking for the one-timer, and Cordero couldn't get it on net. He picks up his own rebound, skating through the zone, gives to Mix. Mix looking to go down low, picked up there, waiting, looking for someone, goes up high to the point. Sends it to Colarusso. Sent in deep, chased there by Armstrong, knocked over to Cordero. Armstrong with it, trying to get it up ice, goes indirect to Colarusso. He sends it back down low. Here's Armstrong, rips a shot, saved by Plunkett. Rebound opportunity, Colarusso couldn't handle the puck. And it gets cleared out by St. Michael's.
Colarusso and Mix, just a perfect job playing off of each other there. Richie Colarusso, sometimes it feels like he's a defender in title only. And then with Luke Mix, 13 assists this year, 20 assists last season. Vision on display twice. The puck set that feels like it's been on St. Anselm's side of the ice more, but that was one of the first really sustained periods in the offensive zone that led to back-to-back, real actual genuine chances for the Hawks.
And here's a good opportunity for McCarthy. Spins away from a hit. Passes it down low. McFarland. Passed back up. Shot on. Deflects over the top of the net and into the netting.
It's been a good game out of Quinn McCarthy so far on the first line. He's moving very well, kind of playing off the puck and evening the ice where the Purple Knights need it most. And right there, it looked kind of innocuous, Seth, but the way he just skated through the zone, it caused 2 Hawks to leave their marks, kind of skate with him, and then it turned into 3 white sweaters in the vision lane of Cam Carroll.
Melrose, Massachusetts native Quinn McCarthy has 5 goals, 13 assists for 18 points in 29 games played this year. He's got 66 points in his career to this point in 83 games played. Puck played in now and taken the other way by St. Michael's. Noman stepping in, sends it around the end boards. He's able to retrieve it, takes a bit of a bump. Puck finds its way to the corner. Good job there by Blaney. And played up ice, but kept in at the point by Elaine. Now Blaney passing it over Martin Yeti. He looks to go up ice. Pass just out past the outstretched stick of Reynolds. He lays a hit up against the boards. Brackett tried to push it forward, and he'll have to clear the zone and re-enter. He's the lone forechecking forward right now. Gives a bit of a bump, and that one should be an icing, and it is. Went through just under a St. Michael's stick on the other side of the ice.
Personnel's gotten a bit jumbled here for Coach Roca, and I'm not sure if it's by design or not, but ever since we ran our way through the first 3 defensive pairing and the first 4 lines here, it seems like that top pairing of Mix and Colarusso has been out there with the checking line, the 4th line, for the most of this first period. They've still created plenty of chances, have St. A's, but I'm sure that they see that they have a little bit of an advantage here when it comes to positioning and skating through the neutral zone, that they'd want that top pairing with the top line at the same time.
And Brackett took the pass. Sounds like offsides might have been the call.
That is what it looks like. I want to see a little bit more of a solid 2A performance out of Hunter Brackett. Haven't gotten to call his name all that much today, have you, Seth? And he's been trying to stretch the ice. He's just as good when he joins the rush, or, kind of plays that quarterback spot, even though he is the left wing, just as capable as Max Burum is from the middle to distribute the puck around. And he's trying to spring himself a little too much from my vantage point, as opposed to just playing in the flow of this top line.
Burum pressuring here on the forecheck, forces Schwartz into the boards. Brackett's there. Puck is forced up against the boards between a skate and the boards themselves. And now Brackett trying to create a turnover right behind the net. Puck is stopped by Mix at the blue line. He sends it back around the end boards. Brackett's going to chase it to the far side. Steps away from a defender, waiting for it, rips a shot, goes in and out of the glove of Plunkett. That left-hand glove has not been strong today for Plunkett. He's had a couple go in and out.
And we mentioned, right, how does he react to this? He's made 20 starts in his college career. 13 wins. He has lost 7 times. Now it's clearly he's been the differentiation in this team. But you can only expect so much out of a kid that's playing in his first year of college hockey in the NE10 championship game. It hasn't come to bite him yet, but now you know where you're looking to shoot if you're St. A's. He's given you a blueprint. I don't know if you caught what the announcement on the PA just said, Seth, but we're officially at capacity. No one else is allowed in the building right now. A true sellout in the 2025 NE10 championship game.
Well, that's something that, on one
you
hand,
can tell.
you love to hear how many people are here, but on the other hand, you feel bad for anyone who was trying to come in to see what is, for the moment, an excellent game, and what we expect to continue to be an excellent game as it goes on. Puck played up ice. Brendan Manning dumping it in. Shout out to Connor Manning, who I was on the broadcast with last week. His brother, Brendan, having a pretty solid game.
I called the game with Connor Manning before, too, so happy to have a colleague, have a brother that's out on the ice right now. It's always fun. You kind of get that in the D2 hockey level.
Vander Veen steps around, lost his edge for a moment, and was able to get it in deep. Played by Myers, looking up ice. Kelly sends it back down. Myers pressured by 2 St. Michael's players. Puck pops out, and St. Michael's able to clear the zone here. Couple of guys tied up. Sent back into the zone, fresh off the bench, and knocked over almost into the net. Good job there by Armstrong to stop his momentum, and icing is going to be the call.
Some hard-charging plays out of Steven Armstrong so far today. And we would like to take this opportunity, Seth. I didn't want to step on it for you. I'm sure you can hop in with this as well. But got to speak with the Armstrong family before the game got started today. So in Victor, New York and North Carolina, we just want to say hi to Kalpa, Gamma, Nanny, and last but not least, Uncle Alfie. You guys have played a role in developing just really a perfect grinder of a hockey player. And Seth, it's in these championship games, a lot of the times it's those fourth-line players that have something to say about the final outcome of the game. It's definitely been a plus performance so far out of number 5 in white.
And speaking of needing those grinders on the fourth line, our assumption coming in from talking with both coaches was that if you're dressed right now and wearing either a purple or a white sweater, you're going to have an impact and you're going to need to play meaningful minutes.
Well, Coach DeJulian, he really harps on his entire team after the first couple of weeks of the season leading itself. It's a player-led unit, player-led team, player-led experience. You don't get the best output unless all of the players have something to offer to that. So he was very transparent that it's probably going to be even minutes across his lines today. Coach Roca acknowledging the same thing. I think that's why if you're Garrett Alberti, you're super happy that you got the call to make it out on the ice this afternoon.
Puck played up. St. Michael's breaking into the zone. Shot on. Saved by Carroll. Patrick Last had 2 goals last week. He only had 1 goal for the entire season. And the freshman put the team on his back and was able to find the back of the net a couple of times and give his team the win.
Stunning to me that kid only had one goal before that game last week, because I'm looking at 23 today. He doesn't look like a freshman. He is a very plus skater, and he's already shown pretty good hands a couple of times.
Hawks looking to get something going offensively. Backhand passed across for Armstrong. Rips a shot in and out of the glove of Plunkett. Played behind the net. St. Michael's trying to create a breakout here. Now they get it into the neutral zone. Played a little bit forward. Mix able to send it the other direction. DeMarinis sent it into the feet of Leinart. Puck up against the boards in front of the Hawks bench. And now Mix takes it into his own zone. Sends it up ice for Reynolds. Reynolds passing it to Leinart. Backhanding it around the end boards. Sent up. And St. Michael's trying to clear out. Across the red line, and one skater for the Purple Knights. And now Colarusso takes it, looking to play it out. Goes off the half wall. Still trying to reach behind him. Can he get it across the blue line? Yes, he can. And now St. Michael's will dump it in. Try to reset. Carroll plays it behind his own net. Now Mix. Mix sending it across.
Finally get to see that the top line and the top defensive pairing back together, but there's something off right now, Seth, about this St. Anselm top offensive line.
Shot in for the point, deflected, and Carroll able to swallow it up out in front.
When you talk about a player that only has one goal on the season in Patrick Last, that's the same story for Rylan Dukes, and that's only because he netted the empty net goal to make it a 3-1 win for St. Michael's last weekend. But great hands by Dukes skating in front of the net. That was a well-touched deflection, a couple of centimeters either way, and that's squeezing through Cam Carroll. He hasn't been needed as often as Plunkett, but he's had to come up just as big so far 17 minutes into this game.
Alberti tried to wrestle the puck away from Elaine, but he was able to keep it. Now Brackett taking it, spinning away, trying to get it up ice. It gets deflected off of Bloom, who was just getting up off the ice. Here comes Burham, breaking across, gives to Brackett, tried to toe drag, had it knocked away by Canchis. Now he tries to spring. McCarthy decided to spin away from Vanderveen. They tried to go up ice. Back and forth play between the blue lines right now. Neither team giving way. Shot on, saved by Carroll. Had a clean line and a lot of time to react. Set out in front and deflected in. We've talked about Quinn McCarthy at length, and he puts his team up. First goal of the game. His 6th of the season. It's 1-0 Purple Knights.
This all starts from that play on the other end of the ice. Hunter Brackett essentially with a 3-on-1 opts for the toe drag instead of the centering pass that allows St. Michael's to get into the zone with momentum. A quick little reset, but they have their top line on the ice, and Quinn McCarthy, he's been skating everywhere for the Purple Knights today. Like, it starts with this and then that slow build back the other way. It was almost a Duke's deflection that beat Carroll. This time it's McCarthy. Sometimes all it takes is a puck off the back of the skate, and that led to the first goal of the contest.
Play is returned here, and we're picking it up behind the net. Hawks try to clear it out. Another turnover out in front. Rebound opportunity. Shot into the side of the net. Hawks need to quickly reset and regroup, find a way to get some offensive pressure on. Here's Kelly across the blue line, lost the puck. Blaney pressuring the defenseman down low below the dots. Now Myers into the corner. Scrum there. We're under 2 minutes to go in the period. Puck played up ice. Here comes St. Michael's. Canchis breaks it across the blue line. He'll pick it up in the corner, sends it around the end boards, and it's chased by Martin Yeti.
This probably goes without saying. This couldn't be a more crucial 100 seconds to end the period for St. Anselm. Not as comfortable playing from behind as St. Michael's is. Probably didn't expect this early first goal, and a chance to really put the Hawks in a tough spot if St. Michael's can net another one in the last 90 seconds here.
Shot from the point, deflected off the blocker, and up and into the netting. The Northeast 10 Conference recently announced a landmark partnership with Flow Sports, which has become the new home of NE10 Now, the conference's digital streaming platform beginning with the 2024-2025 academic year. Fans can subscribe to see both regular season and championship action for all NE10 member institutions, with both monthly and yearly rates available. NE10 Now on Flow Sports is available online on the Flow Sports mobile app, iOS and Android, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and more. Sign up today. Puck played into the corner. Purple Knights controlling. Backhanded up. Now in the scrum, the Hawks are able to clear it out. Mix passing over to Colarusso. He'll skate it across the red line, sends it in the air, and glove down. Good play by McFarland. Still in the zone. Hawks pressuring, turned over. Douglas tries to spring it the other way. Mix intercepts, spinning away. Passed up ice, gets just past Cordero, and Plunkett again coming way out of the net. He took a bump there from Armstrong. Here's another opportunity for McCarthy. Can he get around Vanderveen? He took a shot. Puck pops up, and Carroll waits for the hop and backs up. The baseball player in me watched that and said, you need to catch that one in the air and not let it bounce. But
so David Ciancio, what can we say about him that hasn't already been said? He has been everywhere this first 19 minutes and 20 seconds. He got the primary assist on the McCarthy goal, almost puts one in past Carroll. He's been on the ice for what feels like the past 2 minutes, and they're charging again thanks to the efforts of number 27. He leads all defenders in points over the past 3 seasons, and now he has 56 in 76 games.
Leinert passing it backwards. Hoffman sends it intentionally wide. Reynolds on the far side looking for something. Down low for Leinert, out to the middle of the ice. Couldn't connect there. Had Demarinis, and puck goes up and out of play. Get a face-off back into the St. Michael's zone. 16.5 on the clock, so plenty of time here if you're St. A's to win a face-off, set up a play, and get some quality shot opportunities.
And this top line has been looking a bit more cohesive as this first period has gone on. Patrick Demarinis has kind of came and went, but 28, Luke Leinert, really good hands so far in this first period, and Chase Reynolds delivering the body as you'd expect.
St. Michael's controlling, forced up against the boards by Leinert. Fished out by Demarinis. He's taken a couple of bumps, tries to brace up against the glass. Final couple of seconds here, and that'll do it for the first period. Purple Knights get on the board. Quinn McCarthy gives his team the lead. There's a bit of pushing and shoving, a little bit of a scrum right now. Some chirping going on between the two teams in the corner. And both teams will make their way off the ice. We'll have Coach Roca in a few moments, but before that, Chris, your thoughts on the first period?
Well, it looks like a conference championship game. I don't think you could pluck any other teams out of the NE10 and see as evenly and as tightly contested of a matchup. St. Michael's won the first 4 minutes of the period and the last 4 minutes of the period. And a lot of times to go to a different sport, football, they talk about it very important to kind of win those middle moments, the closing minutes of a period, the opening minutes of the next period. That goal on Carroll gives St. A's a lot to think about because the system was working great until all of a sudden it wasn't. And as we expected, it was led with the top defensive pairing of St. Michael's.
So tough period for the Hawks. They're not able to get on the board. St. Michael's able to turn it around. It's been a while since they've won an NE10 championship. Right. Back to the 08-09 season. As we've mentioned, Coach Julian, without a championship so far in his tenure, wins Coach of the Year this year. What pressure do you think he's feeling now that he's up early in this game to have a complete 40 minutes to finish this one out?
Well, I'm certain he's feeling a lot. When we talked to him a couple of days ago, he didn't seem worried at all. He's been there. He's done that. He doesn't seem bothered by the fact that he hasn't been able to collect one of these NE10 championships yet. I think he's sitting pretty right now. He got a goal right at the end of the first period. Not really found money, if you will, but remember, his Purple Knights lost all 4 games this season to St. Anselm by at least 2 goals or more. This is the first time they've been in this scenario. I don't think he's thinking too deeply about this. Pleasant start, good start. You can just take all that positive momentum with you into the locker room. And, you know, if it's a one-game winner-take-all game, Seth. You don't need to bring up things that don't need to get worked on if they're not problematic. And it's been a clean game so far out of St. Michael's. I don't think he really feels any pressure. I think he's just happy to see his team deliver what they needed to do through the first 20 minutes.
A couple of questions with Coach Roca after the period. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen, so we'll go to a break, and if things change, you'll see us back.
Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about a lot of things. It's about having an impact on the field, in the classroom, and in our communities. It's about leading the way and setting the standard across Division II. Being an NE10 student athlete is about embracing the work, finding our balance, enjoying our journey, and embracing the victory.
Amazing, come on!
It's about embracing self-discovery, growing as an athlete, a student, a person, and a leader. Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about embracing you.
Test, test. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Test, 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 test. I can hear. Can hear. Okay. Can he relay to the broadcast? It's going to be. It keeps cutting out for me, but it's going to be the assistant coach and not the head coach.
And welcome back into Sullivan Arena. Seth Hellman and Chris Del Sordo. We've got assistant coach Lily Holmes from St. Michael's. Coach Holmes, can you hear us? Hey, Coach, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Hey, how's it going, Coach? Great first period. You're up 1-0. How are you feeling, and what do you need to get done in the second period to maintain your lead?
Yeah, I mean, 1-0 game is good, but we got to keep our pressure on them. Last series, we felt that we were kind of laying off of their D and playing like a safety net. And this game, we've been a lot more aggressive, a lot stronger on our forecheck.
Coach, can you hear us now? I think we might have gotten you back if you can hear us now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Love it.
Yeah, so we're just trying to be more aggressive playing our game, not letting up on them, and it's worked out so far. We just got to keep it smart and keep the puck in deep.
So, Coach, before he even scored the goal, we had been saying Quinn McCarthy's name quite a bit. Can you just talk about what you've seen out of 1-8 so far after that first 20 minutes and that top line of Ty, Brennan, and Quinn overall?
Yeah, 18 is our firecracker. He is go, go, go mode, and there puck, he wants to be the first guy to get it. Energy up on that line, and then when you have Bloom and offensive, so you kind of put together, you got a really good grinder, and then you got an IQ guy, and then you got a finisher. So it's really a straightforward line for us that has a little bit of everything that works out pretty well.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking the time. Good luck in the second. We'll talk to you before the third.
Thank you.
So, Chris, as we get closer here to puck drop, teams are about to come back onto the ice. You heard Coach there. Obviously, we had a few technical difficulties, but what do you think St. Michael's needs to do now entering the second period?
Well, so the message was received, right? That's exactly what they wanted to see out of their top line, and I think you need your top line to execute to a level that they did, especially towards the end of that first period. It's easier said than done, right? Just keep doing what you're doing. I think they were able to withstand the storm that they felt from St. Anselm, especially in the middle of that first period when it did look like Brackett was starting to stretch the ice a little bit. Burum, they stayed home. Coach Holmes mentioned it too. It was a concerted effort, right, to not just lay down a safety net, but to take it to the skaters of St. Anselm. They're winning in the neutral zone. It's what we talked about. It was how they kind of handled Snoo. It was the reason why St. A's struggled so much against Assumption. They lost the neutral zone then. They lost the neutral zone in the first 20 minutes. And especially with players like Ciencio moving the puck as well and efficiently as he has, I think you just keep letting the big dogs eat. Maybe some extra ice time for that first line. Keep that pairing of Ciencio and Douglas because they're playing off each other so well. And keep empowering them. Tell them to take the body. Tell them to keep playing their game. We haven't seen St. Michael's make many mistakes. They have been able to recover and not allow anything to escalate. You just don't want to tell yourself you need to change anything when you're the team that's taken it to the opponent, the 1 seed in their rink, in the first 20 minutes of a conference championship game.
Now on the other side, if you're St. A's, you're trailing at home for the second straight week in a playoff game, the biggest game of the season, biggest game for the career of a lot of these players. What do they need to do? What has Coach Roca been telling them, do you think, in the intermission?
Well, he's been telling them to be crisp and cleaner in the D zone, and they certainly weren't. A lot of skaters cutting off the vision lines of Cam Carroll and ultimately did do them in with the McCarthy tip in goal. You don't want to overthink anything in the final game of your hockey season, and I think it's a little bit timid. It's a little bit of overthought. I don't know hockey players maybe set to be the deepest thinkers out there. I just want them to go out there and go get it. And if you're St. Anselm, you have to impose your will in the first 2 minutes of this second period. How do you do that? By skating hard, by going out there and taking it. If you're St. Michael's, keep it on the straight and narrow. If you're St. A's, you might as well go for broke here. You've come back from behind before.
The shots in the first period, it was 10 for St. Michael's and 7 for St. A's. So St. Michael's getting the edge both on the scoreboard and a little bit of the edge in terms of offensive output.
That number should be higher for St. Anselm. They kind of played with it a little bit once they did get into the zone because there were so many times where they just couldn't quite cleanly enter. So the times they did, well, it was like you were making up for missed opportunities, wanted to get the perfect shot on net. We've seen Plunkett not look all that crisp, especially on those shots coming in high glove side. You might as well just keep peppering it, to change the terminology a little bit. Just keep throwing it at the wall and see if something sticks. Keep throwing it at Plunkett and see if something gets past.
Assists on the goal for Quinn McCarthy were David Ciencio and Braden Noman. So his left winger that's not actually on his normal line. They were in the middle of a line change as the play happened and getting icing here, and the faceoff will come back into the Hawks zone.
You know what's funny about that? That's Braden Noman's second assist of the season. Second line player, and he definitely looks like he belongs there. The sophomore out of Boston, Massachusetts, but he's primarily a goal scorer. He's out there to tuck it. He's out there to find it. I've seen the number 28 in purple deliver the body. He's not the biggest guy a couple of times out there. Welcome to the show. You get a second-line sophomore that understands the importance of the moment and has been able to execute and he steals another puck right there.
Puck took a weird hop off the board. St. Michael's looking to capitalize here. They've got some extended zone time. Hawks trying to clear it out. It's kept in at the point by Winnicki, the forward up at the blue line. Wheeled around, sent to the middle of the ice, and Keegan couldn't get it on net. He's able to backhand it down deeper. Puck was knocked away off the stick of Burham, and now Vanderveen sent it off of Brackett. If it had touched Brackett, it would have been an offside. He tried to jump over it, but ends up with an icing. So you almost could argue that it would have been better off touching it for the offside, but puck comes back down the other way.
It would have been, but I think this first line definitely wants to stay out there, right, and stay on the ice here. It wasn't the best of periods possible for line number one, but Hunter technically line number two, but, with through the numbers, line number one.
Another shot through traffic. You mentioned it earlier. The Hawks needed to be better in their zone, and I think that puck might have deflected and gone in. There's a little bit of celebration towards Cam Carroll. That might have actually been towards the far corner. There are some guys wearing purple in that far corner, and I think that goal is going to get credited to David Ciencio.
Well, to me, it looks like it hits off the back leg of 19 Nick Racker, but the point that you were going to make, right, it could have hit off Racker, it could have hit off Toot, it might be a goal for Ciencio. Everybody skating right at Cam Carroll, making it hard. That's a garden variety in-zone face-off draw win. you normally know your assignments and know the lanes that you have to take. And how about the fourth line for St. Michael's getting where they need to do to once again limit the vision of Carroll and get another one past him?
For the second straight week at home, the Hawks find themselves trailing 2-0, and the goal has been credited to David Ciancio as we get the announcement from the PA announcer. So he'll get credit for his 12th goal of the season. But once again, the Hawks trailing 2-0 in the second period. Last week, they were able to pick up one in the second, and were down 2-1 entering the third before going down 5-on-3 and scoring shorthanded to tie it in that final period and then winning it in overtime. So they've been here before.
Oh, yeah.
They know what it takes to come back, but as the puck's brought up the ice by Kanchis and into the zone, almost had a shot opportunity for McFarland. It's feeling like St. Michael's is dominating possession, and if you're the Hawks, you need to get something going offensively sooner rather than later. Here's an opportunity, but had to peel it away, and puck turned over.
Oh, no.
Here comes a 2-on-0. Terrible defense. Wide open opportunity, and Ciancio puts it home again. It's 3-0 St. Michael's, his second goal of the game.
The stars of the afternoon have established themselves today. Quinn McCarthy, a goal and an assist. David Ciancio, 2 goals right now and an assist. So already up to 3 points. A heartbreaking turnover. That's a smart play by Ciancio, getting Carroll to have to guess by making that early pass over to McCarthy. Better decision by McCarthy to get it back over to Ciancio, who has the angle. And if you're Coach Rocha, of course you're taking the timeout right now.
Yeah, St. A's will take their timeout, so we'll have some time here to discuss what we've just seen. Maybe take another look at the goal and see more of the play as it developed into it. But yeah, I mean that's tough for the Hawks. You get a little bit too aggressive as your defensive pairing in the offensive zone. We see it here. So puck gets turned over, and all of a sudden you've got 4 guys below the circle and a guy coming in late who can't take it away. I'm not sure who made the breakout pass. If it was McFarland, it would be his 100th point at St. Michael's. I don't think it was. I think it was one of the defensemen trying to clear it out of the zone.
Well, you can't get – so it starts with a turnover by Tremblay. But that's the pass that should have been made.
It's not a bad turnover.
That's the pass
He's
that
deep into the
made.
zone.
You have Luke Mix, who you want to give it to, diving into the offensive zone with some momentum. The problem is – or pardon me, it was Colarusso diving in. The problem is that Mix took that as his cue to join in on the rush as well, seemingly forgetting about the 2 purple sweaters that were behind him. So that's a mistake at a couple different levels for St. Anselm. But more than mistakes, just kind of an unfortunate couple bounds of the puck.
Ciancio with the goal, as we knew. Quinn McCarthy with an assist.
So that's it.
So that's it. Those are the only 2 assists called as Cam Carroll makes the save here, coming far out of the crease to cut down the angle. So Brennan McFarland still waiting for his 100th point. He'd be the 14th player in Purple Knight history to pick up point number 100. So we'll keep an eye on that as this game continues. Toot tries to win the faceoff, but Reynolds is able to take it back. Played along a lane, passes it across, and a shot is blockered aside and up and into the netting by Carroll.
I would, if you told me on a blind resume that this St. Michael's team was 17-11-2 on the season, it doesn't feel good enough right now. I know that you get, over the ebbs and flows of just life in a hockey season, losses can happen. Every level of this team's execution has been pinpoint grade A, and it's not as if St. Anselm themselves in what they're doing are playing a bad game, but this total team output, the 4th line of Bavis, Toot, and Racker looks like a first line right now, and they almost just then on a simple dive in through 3 Hawks create another opportunity, and this is what you're going to have to worry about now. You see Nick Racker not wanting to get up off the ice because he knows, hey, listen, we got a 3-goal lead. If I can get one of these Hawks extra frustrated and to take a frustration penalty, you're already at the point in this game where if you can get that 4th goal, it's hockey, so you can't assume anything. but that feels like an insurmountable lead at this point. And so now you have the grinders out there being pests, and it's just another thing St. Anselm has to worry about on top of the execution and on top of the sloppy D-zone play. Hey, we still got to keep our wits about us, which is tough to do, trailing by 3 in a championship game.
NE10 Player of the Year, Hunter Brackett passes it for Blaney. Puck knocked down in front, and it goes just wide. Would have been one of the weirder goals I've seen. It was almost deflected straight down.
From the angle, it looked like it got deflected down in between the legs of Plunkett. I don't think that was the case, but either way, it got by him, and it just snuck past the post. Blaney, he's kind of easy to forget about, but he does seem like he's always around the puck when goal-scoring opportunities happen.
Burham rips a shot that gets blocked. That was a good possession from the Hawks. A rare statement so far in this game. They've struggled in the offensive zone. Not to say that they've been doing much better defensively, of course, as they are down 3-0, but...
Well, they play into each other, right? And admittedly, it hasn't been good enough for this second line for St. Anselm, which is more or less the first line, as Carroll kind of looked lackadaisical with blocking that puck out of the way. But I said it in the pregame open, Seth, 207 combined points. You want to lean on them. And because of the way that this game has unfolded up to this point, you know, these are your 3 kind of freewheelers offensively. You can't let them do that right now. And I don't know when the opportunities to let Hunter Brackett play his brand of game will come up here. You need 1 goal into this deficit to allow them to play freely. And so I think we might be seeing more of the Reynolds Demarinis Leinert line than that second line, maybe until St. A's could potentially scratch one across.
St. Michael's pressuring here. They've got it down low. They haven't been able to pull it out and get any shots on, but they're still maintaining control of the puck. McFarland fishes it out of the wall and sends it into the corner. Big hit down low. Good job there from Brendan Manning, the freshman. Here comes Colarusso. Passes it to Kelly, sends it out in front. Colarusso tried to deflect it. It was blocked by the blocker of Plunkett, and that's the first really solid opportunity we've seen from this Hawks team.
It's been better, right, the past 2 minutes for St. Anselm, but it had to be because you all of a sudden look up at the scoreboard and find yourself down 3-0. Myers, Manning, Kelly, pair of freshmen in that line, they don't seem like this moment is getting to them right now, and they're taking a page out of the St. Michael's playbook. We haven't seen Plunkett get tested all that often. He only had to make 7 saves in the first period. 3 or 4 of those saves kind of dicey. And so just Colarusso running the body, Manning running the body in front of Plunkett like that, it doesn't matter how it goes in. It can be a junk goal. You just need to see it.
And here's a 2-on-1 opportunity, shot on and saved by the glove of Carroll. Didn't get the pass across, elected for the shot. He was able to save it. And, you know, going back to the mentioning of the freshman, that line, and last week on the 5-on-3, it gets lost a little bit, but the shift before the game-tying goal, there were 2 freshmen out on the ice, and they stood their own. They were excellent in that shift, which then led to the game-tying goal in the following shift. And so there's a very clear trust in this freshman unit from Coach Roca.
I mean, I think you need that, right, to get yourself to a conference championship. This is a story that I heard from Peyton Manning, which was, we don't haze our rookies because every team that wins a Super Bowl leans on their rookies. You've seen that from both of these teams. Today, it's been the 3rd and 4th line, which have both been full of first-year players for St. Michael's. But when you play 30 games of hockey together, I think the class kind of goes out the window, and it's more you have your role in that locker room. And so if you're a freshman, it doesn't matter. If you're the one that's playing the best, we need you out there.
Here comes Leinert trying to step around a lane. St. Michael's once again shuts down an entry. Funny hop off the boards. Kelly couldn't control it. Played back now by Canchis, passing it across to Elaine. He'll break it out of the zone. Passes it to his right to McDonald. He'll send it up in the air and in. Elaine is the first one to the puck in the far corner. St. A's trying to take it out. Burham passing it up the ice. Couldn't connect with Brackett. Sent the other way. And a huge hit from Blaney. The senior defenseman stepped up and knocked down McFarland.
And Blaney, not the biggest guy, but he plays so much bigger than his frame out there, and this might open up something for the Hawks.
Here's Burham waiting, tries to get around the outstretched stick, out in front, backhand shot, saved. Brackett had the opportunity. Hawks pressuring here. and cleared out off glass. They still got an opportunity here. The Purple Knights are going to change off a couple of skaters, trying to get it up ice quickly. Brackett keeps it into the zone, passes it to Burham. He gets knocked down from behind and pulled down. He wanted a call and isn't going to get one. We haven't had a penalty yet in this game, and as far as playoff games go, you prefer to not see guys in the box anyway. But
I think that was a legitimate gripe, but where the puck was going, I don't think there was any need to actually award 2 minutes against the Purple Knights
to the
there.
blue line. Diving shot goes wide from Ciancio.
That was the best we've seen out of Hunter Brackett all game long. I think St. Michael's realizes, okay, this St. Anselm team definitely does have the firepower and know what they need to do to find lanes. You don't normally survive chances like that, Seth, with Hunter Brackett unmarked and the puck on his stick. Granted, it was a backhand. But again, Evan Plunkett, he's been playing with fire in net.
Here comes Kelly on the stretch pass, shoots, creates a rebound, and couldn't get another shot there for Myers. Colarusso keeps it in the zone. He'll send it in deep to the far side. It's chased there by Elaine. Elaine sends it around, and it gets past Colarusso, but that's going to be an icing. Big opportunity here off the icing to try to win a face-off if you're the Hawks.
A very big opportunity, and I like them keeping this third line out here right now. Connor Kelly looks absolutely dialed in to the task at hand here for St. Anselm. You can see why he made the NE10 all-rookie team, and I can only expect this kid to get better and better as the next years of his career progress. Got to see a face-off win out of Brendan Manning right now. Huge time for it.
He gets it back to Vanderveen, rips a shot through traffic. It's loose.
Bad whistle.
The referee
Bad whistle.
blew the whistle. I understand it as it was on the other side, but St. A's was pressuring, and that allows the Purple Knights to get all their change players that they needed to. The NE10 and Flow Sports are proud to announce the launch of Flow College, a new destination to stream and follow nearly 12,000 Division 1, 2, and 3 games from 12 NCAA conference partners through leading web, mobile, and connected TV applications. With a Flow College subscription, you get access to all collegiate sports competitions as well as game highlights, exclusive content, and more. It is college sports like never before. Sign up today using the Flow Sports link on the front of the NE10 website. Here comes Brendan Manning across the red line, trying to get something going. Myers whiffs on the shot, backhands it to Kelly, rips a shot. Saved by Plunkett. He's fully sprawled out. He doesn't realize the puck's not under him. Here they come. Blaney tried to get a shot, and he couldn't. Breakaway opportunity, 1-on-0, and sent in and off for a change.
Yeah, if you're Coach Roca, it's not about not executing on the play with Plunkett on his back. There was some bad body language there from his Hawks players after some of them realized that they weren't going to get that subsequent shot on Plunkett. Now, I don't want to talk over that. We got to see how this progresses. Once again, it's Connor Kelly getting himself into the right opportunity.
And you see there right out in front, Plunkett got tangled up with Ciancio. The puck ends up in the corner. Plunkett is just trying to squeeze as if the puck's under him. Blaney tried to step out, and it's the defensive play by Cole Douglas that saves a goal and keeps this one at a 3-0 lead for the Purple Knights.
John Myers was showing the frustration because if they could have gotten it back to him, it would have been a goal, right? He was on the forehand. It's a right-handed shot. But then to show up your teammate like that after Blaney can't get you the puck and then not go after it and potentially allow a breakout on the other end, it's not my place to, but I hope somebody on the bench saw that. And he's a freshman, or pardon me, he's a junior, but on a line with a couple of freshmen, so easily influenceable players. I hope somebody on the bench had something to say to him about that, just to right the ship ever so slightly.
Good job to deflect the pass by McCarthy. And here's another opportunity. Kanchis takes a shot, goes off the glass, and up and into the netting. If you're just joining us, Quinn McCarthy opened up the scoring in the first, and then in quick succession, David Ciancio picked up not one, but 2 goals to put us to 3-0, and that's how we stand right now as St. Michael's halfway through this game is controlling and comfortably on their way for the time being to their first NE10 title in 16 years.
How often, Seth, do you see a defender that has 13 goals and 12 assists in a season? Right now, that's the stat line that Ciancio is sitting on. He assisted on that first goal for McCarthy. He's got a pair.
Here's an opportunity, 2-on-1. The pass from Demarinis ends up going to the corner. The Hawks still control. Leinert with it. Sends it down low, but it gets blocked down. And here comes Demarinis. He shatters his stick on the hit. Mix brings it across the blue line. Now here comes Leinert. Sending it across, was looking for Reynolds. His pass was intercepted. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Good back check from Reynolds to shut down the numbers. Shot goes wide. Here's an opportunity now. Can Brackett fish it off the wall? Yes. Passes it for Mix. Takes it into the zone. Tried to knock it over to Brackett. He's able to knock the puck away to keep it in. Here's Burham. Burham sends it on net. Gets blocked out in front by Leinert, I think, who was streaking through, trying to block the vision of Evan Plunkett. Played up to Vanderveen across the red line into the offensive zone. Passing it across for Burham. Couldn't connect.
That last trip down the ice, I'm not sure if it was accidental.
Played out in front. One-time opportunity. Backhand off the crossbar. Another rebound. A second rebound. It's still loose up against the side of the net. Can Burham pull it out? It's under his skates, and now the Purple Knights are able to clear the zone. Here they come across the red line. Pass through. 2-on-1. Shot on. Saved by Carroll. Rebound opportunity. He didn't cover it. It ended up being loose, and Burham, in frustration, slaps the puck up against the end board.
Well, if you're St. Anselm, and you'll see the replay here, this is phenomenal build-up, and off the crossbar, and then Plunkett just able to protect that near post. You can't be upset the way these last 5 minutes have gone. You've been able to enter the zone cleanly, get to your spots, and get the puck on net. What you do have to worry about, though, is that overcommitment, that overdrive towards the net. You're still losing this game by 3 goals, and once again, they almost surrender something back the other way as St. Michael's found themselves another odd man rush. What I was going to say really quickly, though, they were running a 4-forward set out there with Chase Reynolds going and dropping back to D with Leinert, Brackett, and Burham all on the ice together. That's a move you need to make if you're Coach Roca.
It's time to get as aggressive offensively as you can. It's a do-or-die situation. Backhanded onto the end boards and played by Martin Yeti. He looks to go up ice to stretch out to Brackett. He's able to retreat and pick up the puck, but it pops up and still loose and cleared into the neutral zone. Martin Yeti's going to pick it up. It checked up in front of the snow, in front of the St. Michael's bench. Pass opportunities blocked down by Bloom, and St. A is able to clear it. Purple Knights retreating into the zone. Elaine passing it across for Kanchis, and icing is going to be the call.
So what I've seen out of St. Michael's these past 6 minutes after they've taken the 3-0 lead, it has been a little bit more conservative offensively, but to counteract that, you see them taking the body a lot more. A couple of big hits on the forecheck into their own offensive zone, I guess figuring, hey, if we're not going to be as direct and linear towards the net, we have to remind St. A's we're not going to make it easy on you to come back in this game too. So once again, great job by Coach DeJulian, the right way to handle a 3-goal lead in the second period of a championship game.
Manning thought he got kicked out of the dot there. Almost a 2-on-1 opportunity. Colarusso able to hustle back, and a good job by Mix on the other side to take the puck away. Here comes St. A's. Can they set up a rush? Colarusso giving it to Mix. Mix going up the ice for Manning. Manning sends it up. It goes through Myers. Kelly's going to be the first one there. Plunkett again coming way out to play it. Myers looking towards the net, has to spin away. Ciancio sends it around the end boards and played on the far side by McFarland. McFarland will dump it in from the red, ends up bouncing on net. Carroll able to shut it down, glove it to Colarusso. Sent up ice to Kelly, who touches it. His line will go off the ice and create a change here.
You know, part of me wants to admonish Evan Plunkett for leaving the net the way he's done, but he's actually set up his Purple Knights, you know, in perfect spots to break out the other way, and he hasn't ever been in the wrong place. And so sometimes you just have to have it. I agree with you. I don't know why that icing got waved off. But
Vanderveen had to get to it before the goal line, and that's why.
And so for a true freshman, that's what I'm talking about. It's not where you are in your grad class. It's where you are in this season, and this is a guy who's really understanding the game as his year has progressed.
St. Michael's controlling. Puck fumbled a little bit by Schwartz. Passes it across for Keegan. Keegan getting hounded from behind by Tremblay and dumped back in. Plunkett's going to play it, passes it over for Schwartz, sends it around. Puck played off the end boards, taken away. Mini 2-on-1, shot on it, he scores! Chris Cordero picks up goal number 5 on the year. The fourth line gets him on the board. It's 3-1.
I was just about to say it's refreshing to see that fourth line get back out on the ice because they were the best unit for the Hawks in the first period. Armstrong drives the issue, but this time it's Tremblay, a perfect slip pass, perfect positioning, and an even better finish by Chris Cordero.
One-time goal there. It'll be the first assist of the season for Justin Tremblay,
That's
the
his
freshman.
first career assist.
Yes, that's true.
I mean,
the
that's
freshman,
what
his
a
first
time
career
for
assist.
it. And I mean, that's big too, because think about the glory you could get if you're Tremblay to pop that one into the net. But you saw Cordero over the shoulder, got it to him, and that's not an easy finish set.
And another turnover here, wide open, and they
Unreal.
score! What a response for the Purple Knights! It's Nick Racker getting on the board, his 4th goal of the year. A terrible turnover in the defensive zone, and the Purple Knights say anything you can do, we can do better. It's 4-1.
I don't think anyone expected the fourth lines to be the story of the game. Toot gets it started with a body check. Racker touches it to him. A perfect slip pass through back to Toot. 12 and 19. They played a huge role in that third Ciancio goal. How about the fourth line cementing and giving that 3-goal lead right back to the Purple Knights? It is a complete unit out there for the boys in Colchester today.
Plunkett barely able to control that puck. For a second, I thought it was going to deflect back into his net, and we were going to be sitting here at a 4-2 game, but he's able to shut it down. Hawks not giving up here. They're still able to put on pressure. You got to figure if they can get a goal in the next 5-12 that they're in a good spot, or as good of a spot as they can be moving forward. Colarusso, nifty move, backhands it forward, gets his own rebound, tried to pass it through, but couldn't connect with Alberti. Here come the Purple Knights. They're able to clear the zone. Mix intercepts it in the neutral zone and backhands it across. Here comes Brackett. Backhands to Alberti. He tries to take a shot, gets deflected. He tries to backhand it to the middle of the ice. Brackett gets it, goes to Mix, who shoots, gets deflected by Burham, I think, and away from the net. It's played down in front by McDonald at the red line and then dumped back in. Glove down by Ciancio. Now Brackett. He takes a shot, deflects high up and into the lights, and I think that one ended up in the stands as well.
That was a very positive shift out of that top line, that second line, for St. Anselm there. You can only ask these guys so much. How much can you keep coming back from? But Hunter Brackett, plenty of composure there. A couple of times he needed to nail the stick handling to keep the puck from exiting the zone, and he did. And if listen, from my vantage point, this is the most composed the team could possibly look, trailing by 3 goals with just 4 minutes left in the second period.
McFarland spins away from the contact from Manning. He's able to get it out of the zone, but Manning's able to pick his pocket. Manning dumps it in, played by Plunkett, now picked up by Cancius. Cancius will backhand it for Elaine, who's able to spring a breakout pass. Here comes McFarland, breaking into the zone, passing it across the blue line for McCarthy. McFarland backhands it around for Bloom. Bloom trying to spin away, hit by Manning into the corner. McFarland chasing, gets knocked from behind. You saw his skates jump along the ice a little bit as he was stopping, and he gives a little bit of a retaliation hit on Hunter Hoffman, who had knocked him into the boards. Now Vanderveen spins around with it, gives to Kelly. Kelly stepping across the red line, breaking into the zone, dropped off, shot on, blocker save from Plunkett. Now Myers sending it down low for Kelly. Kelly gives to Manning. Manning trying to fight the puck away into the corner. He's able to get back up. Does he have control? There's a scrum. Puck bouncing out. It's still involved in the scrum and now goes along the end boards to Schwartz. Schwartz trying to clear out of the zone. Backhanded up and past the blue line. Martin Yeti spins, passes across. Cordero backhands it down for Blaney. Sent through the middle of the ice. Blaney couldn't get it on
Somebody
net.
get back.
And a good job on the back check there. You said it, and Tremblay was able to get back and knock the puck away. He dumps it into the corner. His far side are close. Cordero steps out in front, and he couldn't get it on the stick of Armstrong, who is complaining about a call. Blaney rips a shot. It's loose. Kick towards the net by Armstrong. Still not controlled by Plunkett. I saw the puck moving loose for a moment, but the referee had lost sight of the puck. And that gets the whistle with 2:40 to go in the second period.
Good things are happening for St. Anselm when they combine that top defensive pairing of Mix and Colarusso with that checking line of Armstrong, Cordero, and Tremblay. And it's nice to see Tremblay look like he's making amends from that mistake early in the game. But at this point, you're still down by 3 goals. There's under 23 minutes left in the game. In my guess, it's time to start going for broke. You can't wait for that second intermission. You want to have this be a 2-goal game heading into the dressing room, not stuck at 3. And so if that means that you go too hard and allow St. Michael's to get a goal back, so be it. The comeback has to start intentionally. You can't hope that some of these rushes up the ice are going to lead to anything.
Great initial pass from Colarusso. Couldn't get the backdoor one-timer. That was a good pass from Leinart looking for Demarinis, who has it now. Gives to Mix. Now Colarusso over to Mix. Mix stepping around, gets it towards the net, blocked away. Good job out in front by Leali. Now Mix, passing it for Leinart. Leinart has Demarinis protecting. Now gives it up. Colarusso lost the puck and has to retreat to the neutral zone. Purple Knights will change out some guys. Colarusso trying to go hard. Gets across into the zone. Has to spin away. Takes a bump. Leaves the puck behind. Hawks still controlling in the offensive zone. Sent on by Leinart. Blocked out from up top. And the Purple Knights trying to go down. It's gloved away by Mix. He controls, trying to step away from Toot. And puck sent down the ice. It'll be an icing, and it'll go back into the Hawks zone.
It's about 40 seconds ago. You mentioned it. It was a great block shot by Leali to kind of dissuade, just kind of disperse some of the trouble in front of the net. That's so on brand for Coach DeJulian, and especially this year's Purple Knights team. 70 more block shots than the next closest team in the NE10. Sometimes you get that because of hometown stat keeping. That can't be the case when you have that much more than everyone else. It really is part of your team identity, team DNA, and you love to see the boys putting the body on the line when they're getting closer and closer to that crown.
Puck backhanded around the end boards. Played up ice by Colarusso. Takes a hit up high. Dumped back in by the Purple Knights. McCarthy's got to retreat and get out of the zone, which he does. Passed up ice, deflected to Brackett. Here he comes, stepping through, goes between the legs, backhands it on net. Plunkett able to deflect it over the top. For a second, I thought that was going to drop behind him. It was a bit of a questionable deke at first from Brackett, but he was able to get it to the middle of the ice, which almost worked. Here's a 2-on-0. McCarthy waits, whiffs on the pass, and it's taken away by Burham. Almost another odd man rush for the Purple Knights. If you're the Hawks, you're sitting around saying to yourself, how do we stop these and how do we get them for ourselves? Because we really haven't had any.
It was like a magic trick for Hunter Brackett getting that deke to actually get back onto the forehand and then, actually whack at it on the backhand and get the shot off. But some better magic by Mr. Plunkett, just throwing the goalie stick at it. And it all works out, chipping it up over the crossbar. He's gotten lucky a couple of times today.
Final 10 seconds of the second period. Puck stays in the zone. Burham trying to clear it out. Gets it across the blue line, and that'll do it. 3 goals from St. Michael's and 1 from the Hawks. Put us at 4-1. You see the play here, the dive to get it across, and it hits the stick of Plunkett, who then had to react and knock it over the top of the net for a moment. As it was dropping down, I thought that it was going into the back of the net. Dave Ciancio with 2 goals. He's officially on hat trick watch in this game. How crazy would that be for him to pick up a hat trick in the championship? The senior captain. And we've got Coach Roca in a moment here. Hey, Coach, it's Seth Hellman. A tough period, to say the least, and a tough first 40 for your team. What do you think needs to change the most to try to cut down on some of these odd man rushes?
Our D just is jumping up in the play way too often. They have to be a little bit more, not conservative, but jump up when you have the opportunity and not just jump up every time. We're getting caught, and that's not That's not acceptable.
Coach, down 3 goals. You can't be too desperate as to create situations where you give up more, but how do you cut down on this lead being down by so many?
Well, I thought that second period we had a lot of opportunities. The puck just didn't bounce our way. But that's going to happen sometimes. We just have to stick to our game. We're not playing the best as we can, I don't think. Hopefully in this third period we'll do that. And we've been down before, so we can bounce back.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time, and good luck in the third.
All right. Thank you very much.
So you heard it from Coach Roca. He knows his guys, they need to still be aggressive, of course, offensively to find the opportunities. But as he said, there have been a few times where his D-men have pinched too far or at the wrong time, and it's created those odd man rushes.
Well, especially the second of the 2 Ciancio goals, getting that pass over from McCarthy. You just can't have that happen. But it's nice to hear what, I don't know if you felt the same way out of that. It seems like Coach Roca, he hasn't thrown it all in yet. I think he feels like his team very much does have the capacity to come back in this game. He liked the opportunities that they created. I have to say, I do as well. But 3 goals, that's a lot. If you're St. Michael's, I'm interested now in this intermission, Seth. How does Coach DeJulian talk to his boys? They're up 3. It's a precarious 3-goal lead. He's made it to the NE10 finals 5 times. He still hasn't got one. Now it's when you start thinking about those things. And if you don't give them the right message and any ounce of flat-footedness hits the ice to start period number 3, hockey's a game of momentum. That can snowball, and what is a 4-1 lead, it can evaporate just like that. And so it's exactly what you want to have happen as your St. Michael's, but now is the time when you start thinking about the reality of this situation, because you probably didn't prep to be up 4-1 through 2 periods of this game. I think we both, the way we were talking about this game before it got started, might have even been assuming overtime. And that's still a possibility in this game, but 2 teams that probably did not expect to be in this situation. We heard how Coach Roca is going to approach it. I'm sure his men are going to like that. But how is Coach DeJulian going to coach his boys up when it's been the 4th line and the top defensive pairing that have really ushered them up to this point in the game to have this 3-goal lead?
It was certainly an uncharacteristic period for Cam Carroll, giving up as many goals as he did. Obviously, as we've said, not his fault. We're very much more focused on the defense and giving up those odd man rushes. But there's a reason why Coach DeJulian called Coach Roca the best coach in Division II.
Yes.
And it's because he knows what to do in these situations when his team is down. So don't turn off your TV just because it's a 3-goal game and St. Michael's is dominated offensively. There's still 20 minutes at least of hockey left in this one. We'll be back after the intermission break.
Sullivan Arena on the campus of St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah, I'm about to step in the ring for the fight of my life. Hit my knees and I strap on my gloves. Boy, I've been prepping since like I was 7. And thing is, I'm already covered in blood. Walking in love, this for the ones who been stuck in the mud. Searching for hope. Trust me, I know what it feel like to drown in my problems. But God came and threw me the rope. Can't wait to look in the
Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about a lot of things. It's about having an impact on the field, in the classroom, and in our communities. It's about leading the way and setting the standard across Division II. Being an NE10 student athlete is about embracing the work, finding our balance, enjoying our journey, and embracing the victory.
Amazing, come on!
It's about embracing self-discovery, growing as an athlete, a student, a person, and a leader. Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about embracing you.
attention, please. We'd like to remind all of you here in the Sullivan Arena not to leave once this game ends. We will have, a few minutes afterwards, the awards presentation ceremony. On hand to present the awards and in the house today is the esteemed Associate Commissioner of the Northeast 10, Ms. Carrie Fagan. She'll be on the ice afterwards to hand out these awards. And again, reminder to all of you great fans here in the Sullivan Arena, please don't go anywhere. We will have the awards presentation ceremony after this game concludes. For you who are fans of St. Anselm Athletics, we have 3 other Hawks winter sports teams in action this weekend. The women's basketball team is at home tomorrow in the Northeast 10 quarterfinals at 1:30 p.m. against Adelphi. Come out and wear white to support your Hawks. Again, that taking place at Stoudenburg. Also in action, the women's Hawk hockey team on the road this evening for
In here.
And welcome back into Sullivan Arena. Seth Hellman and Chris Del Sordo. We've got Coach Holmes. Coach, unbelievable period for you guys. You're up 3 goals, one of the more dangerous leads that you can have. How are you keeping the guys' heads on straight and making sure that they're not thinking too far ahead of themselves?
We're just sticking with our game plan, and that's being aggressive right now. We're talking about Muhammad Ali and pulling back, and he's taking punches. And we're saying we're not going to take those punches. We're going to keep going at him. We're going to be aggressive, and it's been working out for us really well. We're just going to play our game.
You talk about, Coach, just keep going at him, just keep going at him. That's what David Ciancio has done today. He's up to 3 points on the afternoon now with those pair of goals and an assist. What's it like when you have your top-line all-conference defensive player leading from the front on both ends of the ice the way he is?
Yeah, he's just always reliable. He's a guy, as I'm a D coach, I really have to never really think about him. He's so reliable, and I know his head is on straight, and he's always ready to go. It's really helpful. He's been working on his offensive game, D-deception, getting more pucks on net, and he's just really taken off, and I think he has that confidence because he's been doing it all year.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for the time, and good luck in the third.
Thank you.
So, Chris, we heard from Coach Holmes there, Dave Ciancio. I mean, we've heard about him over the last month or so.
Yeah.
I was on the call, and you were on the call as well, correct, when St. Michael's came in. So we knew who Dave Ciancio was, and we knew that he had this offensive prowess and the ability to not only get assists but score goals.
Yeah.
So we kind of expected this from him, but a guy that we've talked about a little bit during the intermission that maybe isn't showing up as much on the score sheet, 4 block shots for Jake Lealy.
Jake Lealy, and this was a player that Coach DeJulian made emphasis to talk to you about when you got to talk to him a month ago. That's what third-line players are there for, right? And you talk about Patrick Last with the similar type of influence. Lealy putting his body on the line to the tune of 4 blocked shots, and there was a play, I think there was about 4 minutes left in the second period, where it was a dead duck 2-on-0 against Plunkett if Lealy doesn't come across and in a very vulnerable position, get his body on the line and get the puck blocked. That's how you get a 4-1 lead 40 minutes into the conference championship game. And I really like what I just heard there out of Coach Holmes, because it seems like that's what these boys in purple want to keep doing. They want to keep throwing the punches. It seems like they fancy themselves as the team that's imposing its will right now. You do that by things like blocking shots. They don't look like a positive play. It looks like a reaction play. But when you're the one willing to do it and it leads to a rush back the other way, there's not much in the team game right now for St. Michael's that you could really have any problems with at this point.
Now on the other side, St. A's down multiple goals once again. They need some fireworks in the third. We talked about it a little bit during the intermission. It's probably easier to come back from 4-1 than it is to 3-0.
Right.
They found some success. They were able to beat Evan Plunkett, but what do they need to do in terms of scoring and scoring quickly in order to get back in this game?
They got to win more faceoffs. Okay, especially when it gets to those like fourth line matchups when you've had Toot going up against a Brendan Manning or a Stephen Armstrong. It seems like it's always gone the direction of St. Michael's. It starts with draw control and it builds off from there. But we talked about it with the way that those lines kind of developed over the second period. There is a lot to be not excited about, but maybe hopeful about. Cordero gets the goal. That fourth line has looked very strong with Cordero, Armstrong, and Tremblay. Kelly, especially on that third line, has been everywhere he's needed to be. The second line is playing like they normally do. It's the top line that hasn't been there for St. A's, but it's the top line. And I think the numbers also paint a picture that you're not too far out of this game, even though you're behind 3 on the scoreboard.
Well, you see the shots there and the shots on goal. St. A's actually had more shots on goal in the second period than St. Michael's did, despite giving up the 3 goals compared to scoring the 1. You see the face-offs there. You were dead on. 25 for St. Michael's, just 20 for St. A's. But the thing that really stands out to me, like we mentioned with Jake Leali, the block shots, 10-5 in favor of the Purple Knights.
I believe I said when you noted that St. A's only took 7 shots in the first period, it should have been a lot more. Block shots have something to do with that.
If you're St. A's, you probably need to score in the first 10 minutes of the period to put yourself in the right spot.
You definitely need to score in the first 10 minutes. I know that we see the firepower that this team has, but St. Michael's is no slouch. It's not a team that would be want to give up 3 goals in a row. The math is totally against you. It's an unsolvable equation if you don't get 1 goal in the first 10 minutes of this period.
Face-off one back and controlled by St. Michael's in the defensive zone. They're looking to break it out. The Hawks are able to stop it at the red line, but Purple Knights maintain control. McFarland with it. Now Mix intercepts. Puck sent in deep. It's chased by Bloom. Knocked away by Mix. Demarinis goes around the end boards. Didn't have anyone there. McFarland able to send it down low. McCarthy backhands it back to McFarland. Tries to go out in front. Bloom went along his knees and into Cam Carroll, who just gave him a shove. Now Bloom fighting, trying to get the puck away from Burham. Extended zone time here for the Purple Knights. Hawks now with control. Mix trying to break out of the zone. Ice still looks a little bit wet in a few areas.
It does.
So the puck might stop a little bit, might be a little bit harder to stick handle and make sure that the puck is moving as fast as you are as a skater. Here come the
How
Purple
did this
Knights.
happen?
Almost had a 4-on-3 there, or 4-on-2 for a moment.
I don't think they realized what they were up against with the 3 Hawks behind the run of play right there. And my goodness, crisis averted if you're Coach Roca and the Hawks. You're not coming back from a 5-1 deficit with 18 minutes left to go in the game.
Van der Veen able to play it across. Now picked up by Douglas. Intercepted by Brackett. He gives to Alberti, not a name that we've said very much tonight. Tries to dive and get it over to Burham. Burham forced up against the boards in the corner. Toot had forced him in there, and Purple Knights come out with it on the scrum. It's dumped in from the red line and deflected off of Hawks, so doubly no icing. Blaney plays it up for Manning. The freshman passes to Brackett. Brackett trying to break into the zone. Manning there with him, and the Purple Knights able to shut that rush down. Blaney pushing it the other way, and he's lucky not to pick up a high sticking call. Here's a 2-on-1. It's Manning to Brackett. Just goes past his backhand. Not sure if Elaine got a piece of it. Sent back out in front by Manning. He couldn't connect with Kelly.
There's just something about the Purple Knights this afternoon scrambling on the wrong side of the extra man opportunities. They've always been able to get themselves back, but it does feel like St. Anselm playing with fire a little bit right now, the way these possessions have been going in their own
Carroll
zone.
was caught behind his own net and almost gave up what essentially would have been an empty netter. And puck played around now to Myers. He's going to lift it up in the air. He gets it to the neutral zone, and Manning lifts the stick. Offside is the whistle. It was knocked back in after being knocked out, but it was knocked back in by a Purple Knight.
The whistles have been few and far between just in any aspect of this game tonight. Have to think now, if you're St. A's, Do you start trying to sell out in that regard and draw the penalty? You haven't been able to play with a man up yet today. Might you have an argument for one right there?
Wanted a hold, I think, as they had a player taken down. It was Tremblay that was taken down in center ice. There have been a couple of calls that you could argue would have been penalties, but the refs have kept the whistles down, which in a championship game, as we mentioned earlier, you would like to see it not be decided by special teams, but sometimes you have egregious calls like the high stick that was missed in front of the St. Michael's bench or the hold that was missed at center ice. But in the end, I guess those two even themselves out, so not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. Elaine gets knocked down low, picked up by Tremblay. Elaine trying to get it out, and it's backhanded down the length of the ice, and that's not an icing because there wasn't enough of hustle, I guess, from Richie Colarusso. Vanderveen almost turns it over, picked up now by Leinert, trying to skate out of the zone. We're already almost 5 minutes into the third period. Turnover. Here's an opportunity, and it's just dumped in. It'll be picked up by Demarinis. He sends it off the end boards. Bad hop. Backhanded out in front. Tough angle. So either went off the stick of Carroll or just off the side of the net. Here come the Hawks trying to get something going. Puck spinning along the red line. Good job by Leinert to control it. Has a man in the middle of the ice. Tries to dance around. Can he get it to the middle? He can. Here comes a slap shot through traffic. Rebound opportunity. Leinert can get it on net. Vanderveen rips a shot. Somehow that got through, and Plunkett was able to stop it. I don't know how Jack Bavis didn't block it.
Right.
His entire body in the shooting lane.
We haven't called Hunter Hoffman's name yet today, but he played two big roles on that play for St. Anselm. Read the play and changed at the appropriate time to block the rush from St. Michael's, and then backed up the play to send the slap shot in, which almost beat Plunkett on the first deflection and led to him having to cover up on the second attempt in. St. Anselm doing what they need to do once they get it into the offensive zone, but they've made it difficult on their heels back defensively.
Puck checked up at the red line. Brackett was able to send it to the far side, and Blaney is dumping it around. Puck checks up. Burham able to lay a hit. Here's Alberti to the middle of the ice looking for Brackett. Couldn't get it on net. Puck still loose in the zone. It's getting kicked back and forth. Here's a 2-on-1. Passed across, and again, and they couldn't connect. Kanchis just missed on receiving the pass. Carroll had come way out to try to knock it away. Puck deflects. Now picked up by Bloom. Bloom in the far corner, sending it around. Played out in front. Taken, waiting, sent through the crease and up to the point. Here comes Brackett with speed. Can he get behind the defense? Has to check up. Drops it off for Burham. Burham sending it on net. It's loose in the crease, and Plunkett able to knock it down. A little bit of pushing and shoving out in front of the net, but nothing significant there.
So you talk about hockey being a game of inches. If we pull up the replay, you'll be able to see this. Garrett Alberti, he could have looked over his left shoulder or his right shoulder. He chose to look over his left shoulder. He loses the puck. If he just makes the decision, and this isn't on him, this is just hockey being a game of inches. If he looks over the right shoulder, it's there on his forehand, and he's burying that in to make it a 4-2 game.
Manning unable to win the face-off against last. The two freshmen battling at the dot there. Kelly able to knock the puck down, and Mix sent it back into the zone. Myers didn't realize that first, so he had to hesitate and then retreat into the neutral zone. Puck dumped in by the Purple Knights, played by Carroll. Now Mix with it behind the net. Here he comes. Has to retreat. Good forecheck here from the Purple Knights. All three forwards in the offensive zone right now, able to knock the puck away. And Colarusso with it. Hawks stuck dirtling in their own zone right now. Mix able to pass it up to Myers. He breaks into the offensive zone, takes a weak shot that gets blocked by Douglas. He sends it around for Kanchis. Kanchis able to spring a man, gets it to Racker. Racker goes indirect off the boards, was trying to get it to himself, and finds its way to Vanderveen. Myers waits with it. He'll dump it in. Goes off for a change. Kelly still pressuring on the forecheck. Armstrong stepped out onto the ice now, as well as Cordero, who scored the lone goal. Big hit from behind there. Good job defensively from the freshman Hoffman. He's still got a guy up against the board. I don't think he realized that the puck was out, and a good job to step out in front from Toot, but he was knocked down by Vanderveen.
This fourth line is the scariest unit right now offensively for St. Michael's College, and it all comes back to the centerman, Jack Toot. 2 assists today, almost just got his 3rd point with a goal, and that would have been the nail in the coffin. We talked about selling out. You got to do something different here if you're St. A's.
Here's Cordero with it. Hawks getting some pressure. Tried to pass it across for Blaney, and a good job to block the pass. Feels like St. Michael's, they've been not only in the shooting lanes, but the passing lanes as well.
They have. They really have. And, right, those are 2 different points of emphasis. They come from different philosophies, where it's just been have some heart, have some toughness for the Purple Knights with putting the body on the line and blocking the shots. It's more of an organizational win, reading the passing lanes the way they've had.
Hawks able to stop the zone entry for a moment. Puck hits the linesman. Looks like he's okay. Hawks getting a lucky break to keep it in the neutral zone here, and now it's dumped in, but knocked down by Reynolds, so taken by Blaney. Sent across by Leinert, gets it to Reynolds across the blue line, tries to send it through the slot, but didn't have anyone there. Puck played by Keegan, he takes a hit. Colarusso steps up, that was dangerous, and it was lucky that Reynolds was able to back check and shut down a 2-on-1. Puck put on net and gloved off the ground by Plunkett. He'll take another faceoff with 11:31 to go in the third.
Yeah, it feels like that's the first save that Evan Plunkett has had to make in quite some time, and that's not part of the recipe of success coming back from a 3-goal lead in the 4th period. If I can, I want to touch real quickly on the top-line center, Ty Bloom for St. Michael's. He's a 20-point player, 9 goals, 11 assists. Hasn't looked like a top-line center, but he has been a downright pest today on both ends of the ice. So it's nice to see the sophomore kind of reading the tea leaves of this game and deciding, listen, I can't be the maestro, the orchestra leader, but I can put my body on the line and create more opportunities, and that's why the puck has been down to our right more often than it's not in this 3rd period.
Here comes Mix, able to pass it up the ice, gets it to Burham. Burham turns it over. There are a couple, I think that's Brackett that was tied up there in the zone. Had a couple of sticks that were stuck on each other and dumped in now by the Purple Knights. It's Vanderveen with it. He's got some time. Passes to Mix. Mix sends it up ice. He was looking for Alberti. They couldn't connect. Defender falls over. Alberti tries to send it to the middle of the ice, but he left the puck behind. Purple Knights able to clear it out of the zone. Stuck in the feet. Mix got it. Puck just gets past Brackett. Feels like nobody's able to control it right now, and Brackett got away with a slash there, and Toot is hurt.
There have been a lot of opportunities for penalties to be called here, and I think the referees realized at this point we've made our bed. We're going to lie in it and just swallow the whistle. You could have had holding the stick against players on each team on that run down the ice. There was definitely a slash that didn't get called. If you're St. Anselm, you're not saying anything. You're taking it and rushing right back up the ice.
We'll keep an eye out for Jack Toot, who went to the bench. He's currently getting some attention there from who I assume is the athletic trainer for the Purple Knights. So he took that slash and immediately went to the bench. Blaney able to get it across the blue line, but it's popped up in the air into the neutral zone. And a good play by Martin Yeti to knock it down.
Yeah.
It's dumped back in by the Hawks, but picked up by the Purple Knights. That's Douglas with it now. Goes off glass. Has it knocked down. I think Myers got a piece of it. Scrum in the corner here. Myers trying to fish it out. He's got Tremblay with him. He kicks it up to Blaney. Blaney waiting, getting pressured. Sends it down low to flex off of a stick of Bloom. Blaney stepping up to pinch, and it's knocked back behind him. But Tremblay able to get back into the neutral zone, make a play on it. And puck gets deflected. A bunch of skaters that are going off to the bench now for the Hawks. Purple Knights controlling.
Surprising to me how many minutes the 3rd and 4th line for St. Anselm are still getting. Not that they're still out on the ice, but that they're seeming like skating more extended shifts than the top 2 lines have been for the Hawks so far.
Under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Good opportunity for Bloom trying to send it out in front. Couple of guys got tied up. I think that was Racker it was McCarthy. It was an 18, not a 19.
That was a good play by Cam Carroll, actually using the stick the way he could to knock Racker off his
Almost
block a
had
little
a
bit.
shot out in front. The Hawks trying to get some pressure on here. 8 minutes and 35 seconds now to go in the 3rd period. The Hawks faithful silent almost
Yeah.
right now watching on in this game. Their team hasn't given them much to cheer about. Passed down low looking for Armstrong. He gets forced up against the boards, kicked out in front. Mix spins away, gets it in, almost had Armstrong. Hawks had numbers, and here come the Purple Knights the other way. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 opportunity. Last rips the shot, saved by Carroll. Had a good rebound opportunity. There wasn't anyone there. Hawks unable to create an odd man rush in the other direction. Leinert trying to dangle it through, loses the puck. Here come the Purple Knights, taken down, and puck sent up.
Wow.
And I think Colarusso just collided
Yeah.
with Schwartz at the red line as both players were trying to find their way off the ice.
You're not going to get an interference call on that, but the fact that the one right against the boards didn't get called, it's kind of shocking to me. This is, if you're St. Anselm, this is how you can get a goal back into this game. Both teams running. You look to have a little bit more composure in your build-up in the transition. And again, Evan Plunkett able to feel all of these punches and still see the forest through the trees here. There's been a lot of traffic in front, but he's bunkered down for St. Michael's. This was the big opportunity right here, and once again, with it being a game of inches, I believe that was Armstrong. He's a tall player, right? So it's not quite as easy to get that stick back central to the body and try and shovel that puck in.
Puck knocked forward by Vanderveen, but it was blocked down. He lays a hit in front of the Purple Knights bench, and they're able to send it into the zone. Puck chased back by Hoyt. Haven't really said his name that much since the first period. The seventh defenseman tonight, so weren't necessarily expecting to see him get a ton of ice time, but nonetheless, haven't thought about him that much as the game has gone on. Puck gloved forward by Vanderveen. Hand pass touchdown. Vanderveen rips a shot, has it knocked away from behind. Vanderveen aggressive offensively. That's part of his game. We've seen him take a lot of shots, not just today, but in games in the past, and it's been one of his strengths. He was a big factor in the comeback last week. We'll see if he can't spring something in the final 6 minutes and 38 seconds here of the third period. Here comes St. Michael's with an opportunity. Puck almost goes out of play. Can the Hawks fish it off the boards? Purple Knights still controlling. They get it up to the point. Here they come the other way. It's Burham. He's got Alberti to his right. Passes it to him. Taken away. Blaney off the bench. Couldn't fish it away. 3-on-2 if they hurry. It's Bloom. Passing it across. McFarland rips it. Goes wide. Good job diving by Hoffman. I don't think he got a piece, but he certainly affected the shot.
That would have been a way to get a 100th career point if you're Brennan McFarland.
Here comes Manning. Gets it on net. Saved by Plunkett. Still loose and sent off the glass. High up in the air. Bounces into the neutral zone. Colarusso trying to pass it across. Taken by the Purple Knights. Shot on and they score! Patrick Last. He scored 2 goals last week. He picks one up this week. It's 5-1. And there's a player hurt as well.
So that's Roman Winicky who made that play happen and got the pass over to Patrick Last. I was going to mention it. It kind of seems like it's all been written at this point, Seth, but as you look at the replay here, Winicky able to whack at it through 2 Hawks, take the slash, and that's an upper body hit right there because he wasn't ready to take the blow, but sometimes you're at the right place at the right time. The hit moves the puck right over to Patrick Last. 3 of his 4 goals in his college career coming in the semifinals and the finals of the conference championship. You can't write a better story than that.
And a number of the Hawks faithful are starting to head for the exits as the leads balloon to 4. It's certainly unlikely to see a comeback, but 5:45 is a lot of time. I've seen a lot of goals scored in quick succession. You pick up 2 in a minute, and then you've got 4 left. Obviously, tall task.
Here's why it's going to be difficult, and here's why they're in this position. That face-off won right there by St. A's. The first face-off they won all period. The first 7 had gone to St. Michael's College, and ultimately accumulates into that. Look, you're right. It's not impossible, but they haven't been doing enough of the little things well enough that make me think they can stack them together.
Mix gets it out in front, and Tremblay had the one-time opportunity saved by Plunkett. Obviously down by a lot. We're seeing the St. Michael's fan section as strong as ever. And they've been loud all game long. 5:16 to go in the third. Down by 4. You have to find a way to score, at what point are you pulling the goaltender? How early are you letting the net be empty?
If you win this face-off now, I mean, that it's at this point, how else are you going to get back into the game? You're down 4 goals. So if they get a 5th one, at least you can say we went down and died on our sword. That's the way I look at an opportunity like this. What's 6-1 versus 5-1 if you don't give the boys a chance to pump a 6-on-5 advantage? Remember, we haven't seen any type of power play or extra man opportunity in this game. You don't know if that might have been what St. A's needed. Well, you can create it here if you just pull the goalie as soon as possible.
Puck sent down the length of the ice. It'll be an icing. Here's another opportunity for an offensive zone face-off and potentially some tired skaters for the Purple Knights.
Seth, I got something for you here. I think if you told Coach DeJulian that Quinn McCarthy would score the first goal, he would believe you. That would make sense. Your next 2 goals coming from David Ciancio, and then your 4th-line right winger and your freshman left winger that only had 1 goal coming into action today, scoring the next 4 goals, he probably wouldn't have seen that coming. This is just a perfect mural to paint in commemoration of this 2024-2025 campaign for St. Michael's, because it truly was everybody. They tell themselves it's a player-led group. They want every player to have an equitable voice in the locker room, and I think on the ice today, every player had an equal, fully equitable, top to bottom impact on this game by all measurables, even without the individual spurts of brilliance. That's offsides. Even without the individual spurts of brilliance, they were the better team this afternoon.
Frustration starting to grow as this lead balloons. Max Burham chirping a little bit after the play, and then Blaney a little bit late coming in, making a little bit of contact. So hopefully things don't get ugly in the last 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Obviously, we're still expecting the Hawks to try to compete and put some goals up, and I wouldn't expect for St. Michael's to soften up either. I would hope that they don't start running up the score to the point of scoring in the final few seconds.
Right.
But
well, exactly. You don't want it to get ugly, because it's not as if this rivalry is going anywhere. These 2 teams are going to be rivals again next year, regardless of how this game comes to an end. And the season comes to an end for both of these teams after this, right? There's nothing extra beyond the Northeast 10 tournament. And so nobody wants that bad taste in their mouth to linger all off season long and then carry into more bad blood when you're just trying to get a regular season underway come October next year.
Puck played down low. Here comes Brackett into the zone, takes a shot, gets blocked, and goes wide. St. Michael's trying to clear it out. It's kept in at the point, sent in on net, deflected, once again went wide, this time blocker side, and sent out into the neutral zone. It's sticked ahead. Puck deflected by Blaney. He gets knocked over. Burham wanted a call. Alberti can't control it, sends it down low for Burham, puts it on net, and Plunkett able to make this save. Burham, just from a body language perspective on that shift, almost felt lackadaisical to me.
He doesn't look like himself, and he hasn't really looked like himself since the first period of this game. And now you're giving your top 2 lines a lot of minutes to close out this game just to try and create something. But I see the same thing that you're seeing, and that's the reality of this situation, right? These guys had to lay it all on the line, had to take it to overtime, kill off a 5-on-3 score, goal at a 5-on-3 just to get here. Everything's magical in sports, right? It's all pixie dust. It's all this beautiful thing. You can really only expect so much, and I do think maybe the well is coming up empty here at this point in the contest for St. A's.
Looks like a timeout has been taken by St. Michael's. I don't know if that face-off was happening close enough to the bench that Coach DeJulian heard them going back and forth. Right now, he's actually talking to his players, and just based on his body language, it seems like he's trying to get them to settle down,
pack it in
almost,
a little bit,
and not play into anything and try to keep things clean. I mean, he told us that at this point in the season, there's not much that he feels like in a good year that he should be doing as a coach. His goal right now is to show up, make sure that everything stays in line, and let the guys police themselves.
The quote was, after the first month of the season, I shouldn't have to say another word, which I think that only really works in hockey as a sport where it's really just about how the five on the ice are feeding off of each other and feeling about each other. But I saw these guys outside of the rink before the game started, about an hour and a half before puck drop. Loosest group imaginable, just a dream job by Coach DeJulian, keeping everybody focused on the goal at hand, but not worried about the goal at hand. And this wasn't a team that looked too tight or too tense or ever too up against it for the task at hand. They're just going out there, and they're just skating, and they're playing hockey together, and I think ultimately that's how you win a league championship.
And I think there's a certain level to it of they were confident in themselves. They knew that they could come in and win this game. But at the same time, I think they almost had an attitude of, well, we've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We're the underdogs. We're showing up on the road. They're the ones with everything to lose. They were the best team in the regular season.
Right.
They're the ones at home. They're the ones who beat us 5-1 2 years ago. And I think we saw a team in the Purple Knights who were playing like the underdogs. Like, hey, we've got nothing to lose. We know that we're comfortable in ourselves and in our systems, but at the same time,
also,
we don't have the pressure.
Yeah, and also what they're doing is that they're playing for Coach DeJulian. They got to know the history that their coach has made it to 5 title games and hasn't taken one home yet. If somebody empowers you to do the best at your job, you kind of want to pay it back to them, and I think we're also seeing a little bit of that. Additionally, if I may, real quick, Evan Plunkett has been everything as advertised and then some. It looked a little choppy in that first period, but nothing got through. And he did allow a goal in the second period, but then buckled back down and let his boys in front of him score 3 more. He's up to 27 saves now, just 1 goal allowed. He is going to end his freshman campaign with a league championship and a save percentage over 93, probably over 93.5. That is otherworldly, and what a scary thought for the rest of the Northeast 10 that number 33, who's seeing the puck this well, has another 3 years ahead of him for the Purple Knights.
He was the best goaltender in the freshman class.
Yeah.
Coach DeJulian said an argument could have been made for him to be the goaltender of the year in the NE10. And really quickly, before this faceoff, I just want to point out on that last shift before the icing, Jack Bavis diving across the ice to try to block shots. With less than 2 minutes left, up by 4, and they're still laying out. And he was doing that while you were mentioning that they were playing for Coach DeJulian. And I think that was the perfect example of what you were saying. This team believes in themselves, they believe in their coaching staff, and they want to do whatever it takes to win.
I'm going to say something controversial. Not every champion team deserves that championship. I get that you go through the schedule and you play the final games, but sometimes there can be flukes that happen and the wrong team gets the crown. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, the team that deserves to win the Northeast 10 is going to win it this season, at least in the playoff play of these St. Michael's College Purple Knights. They're going to end the year with as many wins as St. Anselm after they take this one home.
Celebrations starting on the St. Michael's bench. You can see a couple of guys going across, tapping each of their teammates.
Yeah.
There's a lot
the
of
fans
happy
know in
faces
purple,
on the St. Michael's side of the ice. 1 minute to go in the game. Here comes Hunter Brackett. He loses the puck to Canchis. Canchis passing it across. Taken and dumped in from the red line by Patrick Last.
Just a little stat that just further solidifies the complete effort from St. Michael's. They have tripled St. Anselm in block shots, 15 to just 5 for the Hawks.
25 seconds to go. Puck knocked down out of the air by Mix. Celebrations beginning up and down the bench. Guys jumping up and down. They've worked hard for this. Some of them for the last 4 years. They had heartbreak 2 years ago in this building against this St. Anselm Hawks team. They lost 5-1, and 728 days later, the Purple Knights are the champions in the NE10. For the first time in his tenure at St. Michael's, Coach DeJulian is a champion. What an effort from this Purple Knights team.
And it was all 22 skaters. It was all 5 members of the support staff on the bench. There wasn't a single player, man or woman, wearing purple that didn't show up and do their job today. 5 goals, beautiful control of the neutral zone, in complete control of this game, and stellar play between the pipes. There wasn't much St. Anselm could have done to get the better of this group today.
St. Michael's picking up their first NE10 title since the 2008-2009 season. Coach DeJulian, the coach of the year in the NE10, shaking hands with Coach Roca there and congratulating them on an unbelievable regular season, a school record-breaking season for this St. Anselm team. Dominating performance from start to finish from the Purple Knights. Chris, your final thoughts.
So worth noting, this win for St. Michael's sets a new record for them for wins over the course of a campaign. Now, granted, you have some inflated schedules and you're getting more games in a season, you make a playoff run, and whatever. All I know as a broadcaster, Seth, who covers Northeast 10 sports, is that St. Michael's College is never a school to count out in any sport, in anything. Smaller enrollment, small campus. It's not the easiest area to recruit to. And I think if you go spot by spot down this roster, a lot of these guys have stories like that. You take Case Canchis, for example. He was at one point a D1 prospect. Had a couple of weird things go against him in his life in his senior year of high school. It dropped him down to D2. But he gets a new passion. He wants to study neuroscience. Life takes him to St. Michael's. He gets himself an NE10 championship. Ty Bloom comes out from Helena, Montana. Brennan McFarland comes after a 3-year junior hockey career in northern Colorado out to northern Vermont, and as a 25-year-old gets rewarded with an NE10 championship. It's exciting to see guys who deserve their time in the sun getting it this way. This was a throttling. It was 5-1 on the scoreboard. Even at any of the chances St. Anselm could have had to make it close, it wasn't to be had. And so, final thoughts. It's a job well done this season for St. Michael's. They're bringing a lot of guys back for maybe more next year.
One of the great traditions in hockey, the handshake line. We'll let it take us out. For Chris Del Sordo, I'm Seth Hellman. Thank you for joining us today for this presentation of NE10 men's hockey on Flow Sports. Have a great offseason, everyone, and spring sports coming up right now.
15, Richie Colarusso. The next player, also from your St. Anselm Hawks, is number 14, co-captain Chase Reynolds. Next up, we have from St. Michael's College, number 23, Patrick Last. Next, also from St. Michael's College, is number 27, Tri-Captain David Ciancio. And finally, the 7th player, also from St. Michael's College, number 33, the goalie, Evan Plunkett. And now, the 2025 Northeast 10 Championship Most Outstanding Player is from St. Michael's College, number 27, Tri-Captain David Ciancio. And now, the team awards. First, will the captains of your St. Anselm College Hawks please come forward to accept the 2025 Northeast 10 Ice Hockey Finalist Trophy. And now, will the captains of St. Michael's College please come forward to accept the trophy as 2025 Northeast 10 Ice Hockey Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the 2025 Northeast 10 Men's Ice Hockey Champions, the Purple Knights of St. Michael's College. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Northeast 10 Conference, St. Anselm College and St. Michael's College would like to thank all of you, the great hockey fans, for your attendance tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again next season. Please travel home safely tonight. Also, with the last person to leave the Sullivan Arena, please put out the lights. Have a great spring and summer. We'll see you in the fall.
Good call, Coach. I'm glad you had that eye that I don't have.
All right, Coach, earlier this week, you called yourself the Marv Levy of the NE10. You finally gotten your championship. How does it feel?
It feels great. I'm just so happy for these kids. They've worked so hard this year, and you can see them getting emotional, but really just happy. Really just happy for them. Really just happy for them.
Your captain, David Ciancio, picks up 2 goals in the championship. He was part of the team that lost 5-1 to St. A's in the championship 2 years ago. What does it mean to have him as a captain for this team? What does it mean to now lose him from this organization?
Well, I don't want to think about the losing part, but I just told him he's the best captain. I've been doing this 25 years. He's the best captain I've ever had, and he's been our captain for 2 years. He's steered our ship. He runs everything. He runs the timeout huddles. He does it all for us. So really just so happy for him and his family.
Coach, thank you for the time. Congratulations, and have a good time celebrating.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, appreciate it. So, David, you were part of the team 2 years ago that lost to St. A's 5-1. You guys are able to come back today and win 5-1. 2 goals for yourself. What does it mean to you to finally pick up that win?
It means everything. I mean, going back to my sophomore year, that group of seniors was so special and built the culture that we have today and the culture that we think is what ultimately got the job done for us here. So to get it done for those guys and for ourselves and most importantly for Coach. I mean, he's been at this thing for so long and had so many heartbreaking losses in this building. So to come here and get it done in this fashion means everything.
To think about yourself for a second, pick up those 2 goals, you win player of the tournament. What's going through your mind as you score the first one and then pretty quickly after score that second one?
I don't know, not much, honestly. Just trying to think about what our group needs to hear next, and between Coach and the other leaders on our team, we got so many of them, so many guys chipping in with the right things to say at the right time. So letting them take over and give myself a minute to catch my breath was the biggest thing.
Thank you. Congratulations. Celebrate hard.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Evan Steph, nice to meet you. Congratulations. Thank you. Evan Plunkett, absolutely outstanding, not only today, but last week as well. What does it mean to you to pick up this championship in your first year at St. Michael's?
I mean, all year I've been able to see, from our leaders how much, especially the older guys, care as they're making their way out of hockey. And it just feels unbelievable to get it done. And it really starts with our leadership, our captains, and our seniors on down, making it a very welcoming environment to be a part of. And I'm just so happy for this group, yeah.
There was a moment there where you give up the goal, things could balloon, you could start to give up multiple, but you're able to lock in, settle down, and you're perfect for the rest of the game. How do you recenter yourself after giving up that one goal?
Well, I mean, we had a pretty good lead at the time, and I mean, if people watch the game, I mean, we scored right after. I don't even know if it was 30 seconds after. So our team, I'm able to rely on my team first, and we've been really strong and resilient when faced with some adversity. So playing behind them, it makes me very comfortable, and I had no doubt that we were going to be able to respond without any trouble.
Congratulations, Evan. You're a champion. Go have fun with your teammates.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll use this as one final opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the NE10 championship game on Flow College Sports. For everyone that helped us out today, and for Seth Hellman, my name is Chris Del Sordo. Once again, you can watch fall, spring sports coming up here all season long on Flow College Sports. The St. Michael's Purple Knights, the champions of the 2024-2025 season.
Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about a lot of things. It's about having an impact on the field, in the classroom, and in our communities. It's about leading the way and setting the standard across Division II. Being an NE10 student athlete is about embracing the work, finding our balance, enjoying our journey, and embracing the victory.
Amazing, come on!
It's about embracing self-discovery, growing as an athlete, a student, a person, and a leader. Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about embracing you.